Hello students, today we will discuss about the chapter how do organisms reproduce. So let us start. The chapter include various contents: reproduction, importance of reproduction, types of reproduction, asexual modes of reproduction and sexual reproduction. We have the definition of reproduction. Firstly, reproduction is an integral feature of all the living organisms. This is a process by which all the living organisms produce the young ones of their own kind. That is termed as reproduction. Now, why do organisms reproduce? What is the importance of reproduction? This process is very important for each species because it is the only process that is helpful to continue their race, their lineage. Apart from being important for a particular individual, reproduction is very important for the ecosystem also. It helps in maintaining the proper balance among the various biotic constituents of the ecosystem. It also facilitates evolution because variations come from the reproduction over generations, from one generation to another generation. Sexual reproduction is responsible for the variations. Here we have two types of reproduction, sexual and asexual. Now the two types, study about the two types in detail. Asexual reproduction, when a single parent is involved. It is a type of reproduction in which the single parent is involved. The gamete formation may take place in this, and this is a type in which no meiosis takes place. The meiosis doesn't happen in this process. When the two parents are involved, when two parents, one male and another female, are involved, and the gametes are produced from these two parents, that is termed as sexual reproduction. Here, meiosis can take place. During gamete formation, the meiosis will take place in the gametic cells. Next, we have the types of asexual mode. Asexual can be of various types. Fission. Fission is of two types, binary and multiple. Vegetative propagation, budding, regeneration, fragmentation and spore formation. Now, what is binary fission? When the parent body divides into two cells, or the two daughter nuclei, that is said to be binary fission. Firstly, the nuclear division takes place, then the cytoplasmic division. Examples are amoeba and protozoa. Here we have the diagram of protozoa. The next is budding. Budding. It is a process in which a small bud grows at the end of the parent body. That is termed as a projection that is produced on the parent body when this bud matures, and then it detaches from the parent body and develops into a new one. Here we have the example taken is yeast. Yeast is a unicellular organism which reproduces by budding. Another example is of hydra. So in both the cases, it seems to be little bit different. In the yeast, the nucleus gets elongated and protrudes in the form of a bud and divides into two daughter nuclei. While in case of hydra, the bud grows to a certain size and gets detached from its mother hydra and develops into a new one. Now the next we have fragmentation. In the fragmentation, the body of an individual like Spirogyra is an alga that divides into various fragments, and each filament develops into a complete organism, into a new individual. Next we have regeneration. Regeneration is a process in which the organism can regenerate into a new individual from the lost or the torn out part of the that may be torn out accidentally, cut down accidentally. Example, we have planaria. Planaria shows a very good example of regeneration. If it is cut into pieces, each piece develops into a new individual. The next one is vegetative propagation. Now, what do we mean by vegetative propagation? It is a special kind of reproduction, asexual mode of reproduction, in which the organism or the new plant grows from the vegetative part of the plant. Now, what are the vegetative parts of the plant? The vegetative parts of the plant are root, stem and leaves. Root, stem and leaves. Here we have the example of a leaf, that is bryophyllum leaf. This is example of a leaf. Here we have the example of a leaf, that is a bryophyllum leaf. The bryophyllum leaf bear bud at its notches. It bear bud at its notches, and these buds, when fall on the surface, when fall on the soil or the substratum, they grow into the young one or the new plant. Now we have the sexual reproduction, the variations. Now, what do we mean by sexual reproduction? As we have studied, it involves two parents. It involves two parents, and the gamete formation takes place. What are gametes? Gametes are the special cells which are formed by meiosis. Which are formed by meiosis. So, in this slide, you are able to see that we have the two type of gametes that may be produced, male and the female gametes. They are haploid by nature. They are haploid by nature, and when these gametes fuse during fertilization, they will produce a diploid. They become diploid in number, and the young one will be produced. That will develop into a young one. For example, the zygote will be formed. It develops into a young one. In sexual reproduction, the offsprings get set of genes from the two different parents. So it will lead to the variations. And when these variations accumulate over thousands of years, they finally results in the formation of a give rise to a new species. So that is how all complex organisms evolved from their ancestors, like human beings evolved from monkeys or apes. DNA replication. DNA replication is termed as a process by which DNA make its copy. DNA replication happens during the S phase of the cell cycle. Let me tell you, in a cell cycle, we have various phases. S phase is a synthesis phase, then we have the M mitotic phase, and one is the interphase. The S is a phase in which the DNA replicates itself, or make its replica to and prepares itself for the meiosis, for the meiotic phase. The sexual reproduction in a flowering plant. As you know, flower is a modified leaf. It bears various reproductive organs. There are four whorls of a flower. The outermost whorl of the flower is calyx, that are also termed as sepals. Corolla are the colored petals which will attract the insects and birds. Then we have androecium. Androecium is a third whorl of the flower, and it is composed of stamen. Now it is also termed as a male part of the flower. In the gynoecium is termed as a female part of the flower. The gynoecium bears stigma, style and ovary. In this diagram of a flower, you are able to see that we have pollen grains, and this is termed as a this is a male part of the flower, and in the center we have the female part of the flower. In the center we have the female part of the flower, and this one is the receptacle, and then we have the green sepals and the colored red colored petals. So there are the four whorls of the flower. The pollen grains need to be transferred from the stigma to the style, that is termed as pollination. So for fertilization or for reproduction, the flower or the anther, the pollen grains from the anther, they need to be transferred from anther to the stigma. And in this process, it requires some agents like insects, birds, animals, air, water are the modes of the are the agents or the mode of the pollination. So we have two type of pollination. One is self-pollination, another one is cross-pollination. The self-pollination here means when the transfer of the pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of the same flower within a flower, but when the transfer of the pollen grains takes place between the two different flowers is termed as a cross-pollination. Now after pollination, when the male gamete transfers of the female gamete, then what will happen? The fusion of the two gametes takes place, and that is termed as fertilization. The product of fertilization is zygote. Zygote undergoes several rounds of mitosis, and subsequently it will produce a new individual. The embryo develops into a new individual. Now fertilization in a flowering plant, the pollen tube develops. Okay, the pollen tube develops as the pollen grain germinates, and the pollen nuclei are transferred. After fertilization, the zygote finally develops into a embryo or a new plant. Now what are the changes that takes place after fertilization? The calyx and the corolla, that means the sepals and the petals, they fall off, and the stamens do also. The ovary turns into the fruit, embryo develops into the seed, and the one seed matures, and the fruit dries up, and the dispersal of the seeds can takes place. Here we have the structure of seed. The seed contains the embryo, reserve food material stored, or the reserve food material, and the seed coat. Then we have the reproduction in case of human beings. As you know, the human beings reproduce, they start showing the reproductive, we can say they start showing the features, or they reproduce at the age of puberty. They start the beginning, or we can say the menstrual cycle in case of female at the beginning of these features that shows the sexual maturity in case of human being appears at the age of puberty. So what is puberty? Puberty is a age or that period at which the onset or the attainment of the sexual maturity occurs in case of male or a female. It varies in male, that is in male it comes at the age of 12 to 13, but in female it comes at the age of 10 to 11 years. What are the changes that can be seen in girls at the time of puberty? The girls, their voice become thin, the shoulders and the hip become rounded, breast become enlarged, hairs grow in the underpit and the pubic region. In case of boys, the boys suddenly grow in height dramatically. Their voice becomes deep, an Adam's apple become prominent, shoulders become broad, and the body become muscular. Facial hairs begin to grow, that is mustache and beard. Sexual dimorphism, physical dissimilarities in the male and the female termed as sexual dimorphism. And secondary sexual characters, these all characters are termed as a secondary sexual characters. The male reproductive system consists of testes, a pair of testes, vasa deferens, seminal vesicle, and the penis. Testes are located in the pouch named as scrotum. Scrotum is suspended outside the body, and it helps in maintaining the temperature of the testes below the body temperature. This is necessary for the sperm production. Testes also serve as organs for the production of testosterone hormone. Vas deferens is a tube which carries the sperm to the seminal vesicle. The seminal vesicle is the place where the sperms are stored, and the secretion is also helpful in making the semen. The penis is a muscular organ or the copulatory organ which transfers these sperms to the female tract. The female reproductive system consists of uterus. It consists of fallopian tube, a pair of ovary, and the vagina. Now, the uterus is a pear-shaped hollow muscular organ where the embryo gets implanted and develops into the new one. Where the embryo gets implanted and develops into the new one. Let me draw the diagram here. These are the ovaries, and this one is the uterus. It is the uterus. And here we have the cervix. Here we have the cervix, and then we have the vagina. Then we have the vagina. So this is a structure. Now we were discussing about uterus. The uterus is a pear-shaped structure where the embryo get implanted and the development of the embryo takes place. Now when the fertilization doesn't take place, then the innermost endometrium wall of the uterus releases out, that is termed as a menstrual flow in case of female. It starts at the age of puberty. Fallopian tube comes from each ovary and expands to the uterus. This fallopian tube bears a finger-like structure, fimbriae, and the fertilization takes place in the ampuloisthmus junction of the fallopian tube. There are two ovaries, and the ovary produces one egg once in a month. One egg matures in each ovulation cycle and is released from the ovary. The egg is taken by the fimbriae and transferred to the fallopian tube for the fertilization. Vagina is a part, or it is a mouth of the uterus where the muscular organ which serves as a passage for the sperms and through which the penis transfers the sperm into the female genital tract, and it is also termed as a birth canal.